Hey everyone, I have a quick word to release today, and today's word is actually based on a vision I received from the Lord last night. And today's word is called You're the Underdog, Unbothered, and Earning Your Spot. You're the Underdog, Unbothered, and Earning Your Spot. And today's scripture reference is 1 Corinthians 9:24 through 27. And it reads, "Don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadowboxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified." So in this vision, you guys, I saw a vision of the professor from AND1 Street Ball. And I'd actually watched this documentary recently on Netflix, AND1, The Rise and Fall of AND1. And you know, one of the really interesting things about this player, the professor, who the Lord highlighted to me, is that AND1 was really from the streets. It was a grassroots company that really embraced a grassroots marketing effort of making this mixtape video of street ball in New York. And they highlighted some players on this reel, and they incorporated some music from local artists. And that's really, that incorporated with the company's trash talking t-shirts are really what elevated this company to the next level. And so there's a lot of great lessons just in the rise and fall of that company. But the Lord highlighted this specific player, the professor. And as I was watching this documentary, it talked about how, the street ball movement through and in conjunction with AND1 grew to such popularity that they actually had a show on ESPN, and the show was touring around to different cities to find their next street ball star. And the tour started in Oregon. And it was the first day of the tour, and here this kid shows up, the professor, and he's like an awkward white boy from Oregon. He doesn't really fit the mold of a street ball player. Most of the players on the AND1 mixtape, street ball mixtape, they're guys from the block, and they've been playing ball on the streets of New York for many years. They earn their stripes on the court, in the hood. And here's this white kid who seems to be from suburbia, who shows up at this audition, and he was definitely the underdog, and this kid earned a spot on the tour, and this kid had the moves. He had the moves. And so they went from city to city on this tour, and each stop they would eliminate one person, one of three people. And this kid made it to the end. Spoiler alert, but many of you who are familiar with the story already know this kid is well known in the street ball world. And so this kid earned a spot on the team. And in the documentary, it showed how, some of the professor's teammates were salty because here's this, awkward white kid from suburbia who really seems to be out of nowhere, an overnight success story, who all of a sudden, he's the darling, he's the one that the media wants to talk to, he's the one who, is getting all the interviews, getting all the attention. And these guys are like, we've been playing street ball for years, and we don't know who this kid is. He was like 17 years old. But the best part is that this kid was unbothered by all of it. He didn't let the salty looks get to him. He was enjoying the experience, and he was the underdog. And it looked like an overnight success story, but he really had put in the work. He didn't get to the level he was at by, obviously he had some natural ability and talent, but this kid practiced and he worked hard. And, much like you're the underdog in whatever endeavor the Lord has set before you, and you're earning your spot in whatever this looks like for you. And you may not fit in with the people around you. You might not look like the other people who are doing what the Lord's called you to do. But because you are unique, because you are you have been trained, you are special. There is something unique and special about you. And so when the haters look your way, just remain unbothered and keep it pushing. So, I'm not sure who this message is for today, but the Lord is saying, keep doing what you're doing. And, the professor is one of the most memorable street ball players now as we look back on that era. I mean, he was one of the stars of this documentary because he was different and he embraced who he was. He didn't try to, well, he did change a little bit. He got his, as he got on the tour and got a little more notoriety and fame, he kind of changed his hair a little bit and the girls started noticing him. But, at the end of the day, he was still the same person. And he was very talented, and I'm sure he still is. They interviewed him for this documentary. So the Lord has highlighted to me that many of you are like the professor in street ball. You're scrappy. You're an overnight success story, so it seems to other people, although you actually have put in the work to be where you are, and you're earning your spot. And don't let anybody give you a side eye or question, how you got where you're going, because you've earned your spot in many different ways, in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. You've put in the work. You're earning your spot. You've been obedient to the Lord. You followed his divine instruction in your life. And you just need to keep going and keep being unbothered. And, everybody loves an underdog. So just keep going. So I'm not sure who this message is for today, but just know that I pray for all of you every day that the right people receive these messages. I want to thank all of you who've sown into this ministry. I pray over every seed that the Lord will increase it 1,000-fold. I pray the Lord will continue to lead, guide, and direct you into his perfect will for your life. I pray for everybody who receives these messages that you'll just stay blessed and that you will be in relationship with Jesus Christ, that you will follow the divine instructions that he's laid out before you in your life so that you can get into that Abraham covenant, that Psalm 91 relationship with the Lord, where you are protected, you're at peace, you're in comfort, and that the Lord has got you. He's got your back in every situation, and you never have to fear or have anxiety. So I'm not sure who this message is for today, but you are definitely the underdog. You're unbothered and you're earning your spot, and just keep going, and people are gonna pay attention. They're gonna take notice to you. So just know that I love you all so much with the love of Christ, and stay blessed.